Hey guys, I'm Rand Younger, and this is another episode of Under the Radar, a very special episode. This is actually part of our movie commentaries. And today we are going to watch and comment on the classic Tim Burton film from 1988, Beetlejuice, fantasy comedy starring Michael Keaton, Alec Baldwin, Geena Davis, Jeffrey Jones, Catherine O'Hara, and Winona Ryder, excuse me.
Winona Ryder.
Yes. Thank you, Forrest. And with me today, as always, I have a wonderful panel of guest commentators. We have Pete Ayala. Welcome back, Pete. We've got Rachel Kolb. Welcome back, Rachel.
Hi, happy to be here.
We've got Forrest Bennett.
Randy, good seeing you again.
And Moeeb Ahmed, new to the show. Welcome, Mo.
Hey, thank you for inviting me, Randy. I'm excited.
Anytime. And you know what? This is very special for Mo because this will be his first time seeing the movie. I just want to get like a fresh reaction at the end of this from you. And even during it, yeah, you're in for a wild ride is what I'm saying.
So jealous.
Yeah. And I'm very excited to see what you think. We also have Jared Albert, who is sort of with us. He's actually out walking his dog, kind of an emergency situation, but he should be joining us once the movie starts.
Hopefully that dog's not impeding any traffic.
I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so I'm streaming this on Amazon Prime. I think some of you are streaming it as well. And Forrest, you actually just went out to the store. You went to Best Buy to buy it?
Yeah, like second to last copy on Blu-ray.
Awesome. Good timing.
Good timing, yeah.
That's awesome.
I felt like it was high. I mean, I had it on VHS as a kid. I felt it was high time to get another copy to upgrade.
I definitely had the VHS as well, and I wore that thing out. And Jared's back. Hey.
Hey, everybody.
Good timing. I was just doing the intro, and we are about to press play. So,
all right.
Oh, this is exciting. All right, guys. So right now, we should all be on where it says the Geffen Company release, and you see the Geffen Globe logo. Jared, I'll give you a moment to.
No, I'm there.
Are you there? Great.
Ready to go.
Sweet. All right, guys. So this is I love this movie. It'll never get old. It's a classic, and it's one of Tim Burton's best movies. And
I would say top 3 Burton for me.
Yeah. What would you say? This, Batman, and Edward Scissorhands?
Actually, I would say this, Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Okay.
And Batman.
Nice.
Okay, but if I'm putting together my top 3, I have to include Big Fish because I think that's one of his best movies.
That's a good one. Sleepy Hollow also up there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would say Sleepy Hollow marked the end of consistently good Burton.
Yeah. Big Fish was his last great film, in my opinion.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
We were in college during that.
Yeah. Didn't you go to the premiere?
I did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you got a picture.
Yeah, that was fun.
Steve,
I have footage. I got to interview Danny DeVito and Steve Buscemi.
Nice.
I think Tim Burton too. Yeah, we should do that one next. Yeah. It's a good movie.
It's a fun one. I didn't interview Tim Burton, but I met him and got a photo with him at the Big Eyes press junket a few years ago. So that was a lot of fun. Okay, so before we start, Mo, are you a Tim Burton fan, or do you know much about his work?
I watched Batman a while ago. It's one of my brother's favorite films. But I haven't. I'm quite an amateur compared to this beautiful panel right here. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be part of this company and just watching this movie. For the first time. I was telling a few of you earlier that I want to watch more classic movies, like that are very prominent in American culture. And just getting that exposure, I think it's a magical feeling,
Well, you're in the perfect company right now. So, yeah.
I'm loving this guy. If he's going to just keep going, it's beautiful. Like, bring him back every time.
Maybe.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. You're not so bad looking yourself, bud.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Well,
All right.
we're at the Geffen Company release logo, and I'll count down from 3, and we'll all press play. Okay. So 3,
All right.
2,
Yep.
1, play. And right away, we get Danny Elfman's wonderful score. Cannot go wrong with Danny Elfman.
This always scared me. The Geffen logo and the music always scared me as a kid.
It's freaky with the Harry Belafonte like ghost version. It's creepy.
Yeah. And by the way, oddly enough, Beetlejuice is on CMT tonight at 7 p.m.
Thank you, Jared.
You're welcome.
But it'll probably be censored.
Well, that the one scene which we won't spoil for Mo.
Yeah.
One scene that my mom used to warn me about quoting.
Yeah. Friend to the show, Kevin Mascara, and I, we grew up together, and we met when we were like 7 or 8 years old, and we would actually watch that. We would rewind that scene over and over. It was very
Hilarious scene.
yeah. Robert Goulet, Dick Cavett. Interesting.
Oh yes. Yeah. Oddly enough.
How do you not say
And Michael
Goulet?
True.
Glenn Shadix.
Oh, the late great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He was in that one episode of Seinfeld.
Manny. And
Yeah.
Also one of Tim Burton's regulars.
Yep. He was also
Real
in
quick, about,
Demolition Man.
yeah.
Yes.
unfortunately. No, I'm just kidding. I love that movie.
Oh, and Bo Welch, the production designer. First trivia, met Catherine O'Hara on the set of this movie, and they later got married.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Bo Welch,
Awesome.
he didn't do the first Batman, but he did the production design for Batman Returns and a few other Burton films, if I'm
And
not.
then Warren Scarron, who was credited as one of the writers, he did a draft of that.
So yeah, it's a very strange movie, but Tim
I'm
Burton,
excited.
it's the perfect director for this.
Look at Alec Baldwin.
I
Just
know.
being all Baldwin. Just so good looking. I hate him.
He was what?
Well, before he was doing, before him and his brothers all did that duck.
He was about
And
20.
just showing, this opening scene just tells you everything you need to know about his character. That it's like he's not gonna squash that spider. He's not gonna. It's just like, nope. Just very pure, sweet soul.
Yeah. Very different from 30 Rock.
The all-American, yeah, no kidding. Then the all-American girl, Geena Davis. Just,
Yep.
Oh, I love her.
Right.
Could you have casted them any better? Like,
Right.
you don't even realize it's Alec Baldwin. Like, I feel like he gets lost in this role because
Yeah.
he's such the leading man, the good-looking leading man, and then in this movie he's just like, nah, it's cool. I'm gonna play the back role. It's fine.
Yeah, he was about 29 or 30 here. And he was
Crazy.
yeah. I think Bill Pullman
How
was
many movies?
I think they wanted Bill Pullman.
I was just gonna say, how many movies has Alec Baldwin made since this one? Like 100?
Yeah.
a lot. It's been a
That plus movies, television. I mean that plus television.
Crazy. I mean, I'll never see him as anything but Jack Donaghy when I see him for 30 Rock. But he's, everything he's in, he does a great job.
I would say I still mostly associate him with this movie.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And his small scene in Glengarry Glen Ross.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Love that movie.
Without saying.
They actually wrote that part specifically for him, like for the movie.
Actually, no, I take that back. I will say this movie and Sweaty Balls are the two roles I associate him most with.
Sweaty balls.
And he's one of the
Yeah, he's also very underrated in The Cooler with William H. Macy.
Love that movie. Absolutely love that movie. So is William H. Macy for that reason.
Yeah.
And Paulie Sorvino. They're all kind of like
in their
Yeah.
own league.
They're all underrated in that movie's just underrated.
Mm-hmm. I've yet to see it. I think
Such a good
it's
movie.
just scenes from it, but
Mm.
I love William H. Macy. He's great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got to give it a watch, brother. Give it a
Yeah.
watch.
The Cooler?
So
Yeah.
good. That movie got me through like the last month of my deployment in Bahrain. I was so bored. I'd watched everything a million times. And that was when the first Lord of the Rings came out, the first Harry Potter. So I was just stuck like, oh my God, I can't wait to see the next movies of those series. And then somebody just brought the cooler by my room and I was like, oh, this is great. And it was fantastic.
Nice.
I'll need to check that out myself.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably watched it 4 times in 2 weeks. Go ahead.
Guys, I just want to tell you the exterior shots of this movie were filmed in East Corinth, Vermont. But they're actually in the movie supposed to be somewhere in Connecticut, Winter River, Connecticut. It's a fictional town that they created, but it's Vermont.
Interesting.
Yeah. They do have wonderful chemistry. I must say.
Yep, so good together. This has got to be one of my favorite scenes when he goes in, not to spoil it for Mo, but Mo, here's another piece of Americana, a barber that'll talk your face off. Like, that's exactly who this guy is. You know, he walks in past him, the guy just keeps talking until you'll see.
Right.
And you know, Mo, I know it's a little late, but I know it's your name's Moe.
Yeah.
Mo. I'm sorry about that. You're
no, don't worry about it, man.
All right, check it.
Hey,
Yeah.
It was like an automatic.
Anyone could call me Mo.
Yeah. You know,
You could call me whatever you're feeling. You know,
like
anyone could call me anything. You know?
people still call me Randall from when I was a kid. So
Right.
it's random. It's weird. And
I never not once called you Randall.
and you know, I never called you Pete. So I think that's fair. Oh, here we go. All right.
Mhm.
Oh man.
Oh, and real quick, I was going to say, Mo, that's like another part of American culture right there. We just like to nickname everybody.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh
no!
Oh no.
And that in American movies, you never hurt the dog.
Yep.
If you hurt the dog, bad things
Yeah.
happen to you.
Yeah.
Right.
The audience will.
I'll go John Wick on you.
Yeah. Dogs are very precious. You know.
It's so crazy. The score, it's so like funny, and you know, it's dark, it's zany, it is perfect. This I think is the first Danny Elfman score I ever heard, even before Batman, because Batman's a year after this, and he just captured the mood so perfect.
Pee-wee? Was Pee-wee?
Pee-wee was his.
Pee-wee's
that was
Danny
his-
Elfman.
That was his first collaboration with Burton, his first feature length. But the first time I actually paid attention to his music was this. But yeah, definitely my favorite.
Here come the great special effects of the 80s.
Hand candle.
Oh my goodness, your fingers are on fire. Looks so real.
Oh man. Do you folks know who videographed this movie?
Who directed it, or?
Oh no, just like the
The cinematographer?
cinematographer.
Oh.
Exactly.
You know what? Let me check.
Yeah.
The one.
I'm gonna go ahead and say whoever did Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
Thomas E.
There's
Ackerman.
no way. It's
Okay.
Thomas E. Ackerman.
if it
Who else?
if it's not the same person that did Pee-wee, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah. Thomas Ackerman. He did. He did Back to School, which was also Danny Elfman.
No, wait.
He did Frankenweenie.
Frankenweenie, the
Yep,
original.
another Tim Burton. Yep, Frank Weenie, another Tim Burton. The
Moonwalker.
original from 1984.
Oh,
Did
wow.
Moonwalker.
New Year's Evil.
Moonwalker. That's amazing.
Yep.
Dennis
And
the Menace.
he also did Jumanji and George of the Jungle.
Oh wow.
Oh, really? Wow.
And all over there.
Vacation.
Which vacation?
National
Christmas
Ah,
Vacation.
that's my wife's favorite. You know what's so funny? My wife doesn't like any of them except Christmas Vacation,
Everybody loves.
and she loves it with.
I'm more a fan of the
Yeah.
first one. More the fan of the first one.
I like European actually. To be honest,
Oh.
Vegas pretty good.
Really, you're the first person I know. You're the first person I've met that said they like Vegas Vacation.
I know. A few
No, no. I like Vegas. It's dumb. It's really dumb, but
It's really dumb.
but it's good. You know, for
Yeah, it's silly.
Can
it's
we
silly.
can we just comment a minute about Geena Davis's face? Like
What?
her bone structure, like holy shit, man. Is
Beautiful.
that a classic? Is that a classic beauty or what?
Yeah.
Like, it's
Right.
insane. It's insane.
She's good looking.
I would say between this movie, The Fly, and Long Kiss Goodnight.
Woo.
She looks
Straight
pretty good in a league of their own.
Yeah.
That too.
She is
Yeah.
beautiful in League of Their Own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely.
Which, funny enough, I feel like they try to play up her looks more in that movie. Which is weird.
Well, in that movie, when those women were, when that league was formed, they still had, they had to take, as you saw in the movie, they still had to learn how to be feminine and.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Mo, in case you haven't noticed that they're dead now.
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay, just checking.
No, they're recently diseased.
Disease.
Recently diseased.
I love that though. It's such a dad humor joke to be like, oh, now that we're dead, I'm gonna make little coffins for us in the pool.
Yeah.
You got to keep everything on point, right? Like everything's got to keep going.
Yep. And so there's this guy who has a YouTube channel where he goes to different like filming locations, and he actually went to East Corinth, not East, but yeah, Corinth, Vermont, and some of the buildings and houses are still intact. Yeah.
I feel like that's much of New England is a lot of older buildings and houses that rarely ever get remodeled.
I love that. That timeless quality.
We just before this, I was just watching before this the first couple episodes of the new season of Masters of None. And it's a different take this season, but regardless, they're in this beautiful house in like the Hudson Valley, and it's just that basic, that look of New England. It's just the same thing. The craftsmanship, the moldings and stuff like that, which they kill that in this, in this movie. You get to really see that, especially when he gets into his room and he's like, let's just leave this one this way. Oh my God, what I wouldn't give for that room. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
I love it.
Yeah. It's interesting because when they have the exterior shots of the house, like it does have that very classic, like old look to it, but it's also structurally, like it almost looks like things were like built on top of it. That started out very simple, and it's just like they kept adding on different like projects and different rooms to the house.
Yeah.
Right.
I was just wondering if when they were in Corinthian, Vermont, did it smell like fine leather?
Ooh.
Fine leather.
You do see cows. Right, there is a dairy farm right by the house, so.
Oh, spot
I'm
on.
sure it's pretty much close to heaven. I wouldn't mind living there. It looks so.
And now let's talk about the difference in look, but the equally gorgeous Catherine O'Hara.
Yes, comedy legend.
In my opinion,
Catherine
like,
O'Hara.
everything I've seen her in, she is always the unsung hero.
Yeah.
This movie, Home Alone, Orange County,
For your consideration.
all of her collaborations with Christopher Guest.
I can't look at her these days without thinking Schitt's Creek. I'll be honest with you. And Rachel, I know you are kind of in the same boat.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see what she does next now that Schitt's Creek is over.
Right.
I would love to see her get another iconic role.
Yeah, she can do no wrong. Like she's a perfect comedic actress. She's got great chops.
I mean, she's definitely one of those actresses that could pop up at anything at any given moment. So
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, Schitt's Creek was her due. That was her due. Like everybody owed her that.
And she had like a ton of awards each season. Like she would get like best actress, best supporting actress in a TV comedy. It's crazy, but she deserves it. She's fantastic.
Friggin' Otho with his pop of color. He was so ahead of his time. So ahead of his time.
Well, I love that he's basically Catherine O'Hara's gay best friend. That she just she just happens to also, I think, employ him.
How can we squeeze this in without calling him that? Oh, I know.
mean, it's definitely, it's never mentioned directly, but you know, it's implied. And also, guys, I just want to mention John Candy, John Goodman, and Bob Hoskins were all considered for the role of Otho.
Oh.
Hoskins was doing Roger Rabbit around this time, so
That's true.
But let's see. But He's a John Goodman and John Candy, the other candidate.
Goodman
Yeah.
only.
Yeah.
Goodman's the only one I could see pulling it off because he's a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they're
It
all.
would have been very different.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Candy, I feel would have played him really silly.
Candy would be too lovable for a character like Otho.
Right. Yeah. He would have played him way too silly, would have tried to steal scenes, whereas Goodman would have played him seriously and probably leaned more into, being like a socialite or whatever. Like he would have gotten serious with it, which is not right for this. So yeah, you needed somebody who wasn't that big.
So Shadix was like perfect for that.
Mhm. And speaking of casting choices, guys, Tim Burton actually wanted Sammy Davis Jr. for the role of Beetlejuice.
Really? Actually, okay. So originally, like the working titles for this movie were the Newly Deads and the Maitlands.
And actually, there was another title that they shopped around, Scared Sheetless.
But apparently, I guess, after they took a look at the dailies, they said that how much Michael Keaton was stealing the show as Beetlejuice, they decided to retitle the movie for his character.
Yep.
It's so funny that you said specifically that because all I can think of is Captain America Civil War and how because they had to change it so much for Iron Man to be a bigger part of it because they knew that would be the draw for the movie. Like you almost lost the fact that it was a Captain America movie. Like they should have called it Cap versus Tony or something else because it just, Civil War was good. Obviously it made sense, but it's like I feel like it didn't play up in the title how much of a Tony
it felt more like an event, it felt more like the Avengers sequel that Age of Ultron should have been.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it was 2.5.
Nice.
But
Also, guys, I wanted to mention, and Jared and I have, I guess we respect the actor Jeffrey Jones, especially during this time period. Unfortunately, though, he
talk about unsung.
Yeah. Well, you guys know him, of course. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Howard the Duck. This. He did a weird little movie, Out on a Limb, with Matthew Broderick.
Great movie.
I'll even throw in the Pest.
Okay, and a small role in The Hunt for Red October, and
Amadeus.
He was in
Amadeus. Oh,
stay tuned.
Oh, Ed Wood.
Ed Wood. Stay tuned. Dr. Doolittle 2, anybody?
No, nobody.
But you know what? Even though he is a great comedic actor, he fell on some hard times in the 21st century.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's a shame. I don't think his career will ever be the same. But
dude, even what's the Al Pacino and who's the devil?
Devil's
Advocate. Devil's Advocate. Did I just say half the title?
Yes.
The one where he's like the devil, but he goes against you. No.
Wait, did anybody bring up Ferris Bueller's Day Off? You're throwing out so many titles.
I think that's what he's best known for.
Yeah.
That and in this.
I think last I saw, he is still doing professional acting, but he's doing a lot more theater these days.
Yeah, like
and
regional, like community, like more like I think community theater.
like regional theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, like still professional theater, but just like outside of the New York and
Yeah.
LA area.
Which I'm sure he's amazing in.
Mhm.
I mean, I wouldn't mind getting a picture with him, an autograph, but
You want to talk about a good interview? That would be an amazing interview. Like
and
you're talking about a guy who's seen all sides. That I feel like I would put that up there with like a Mickey Rourke interview. Like talk about a guy who's been through the ringer on both ends. Like it would be awesome to talk to him and hear those stories.
I know, but obviously I would not bring up his. I mean, maybe I'll touch on his criminal history, but
He'll punch you in the face.
probably. And he's a lot taller than me too, so he'd be more imposing. But yeah,
Dude, he's a
He's
sneaky big dude.
on you.
Yeah.
he's like 6'4".
Yeah, sneaky big dude.
I like that. Hashtag sneaky big.
Actually Catherine Herrera just had like one of the most subtly funny moments in this movie when she's complaining about the quality of the Chinese food in New England.
Uh-huh.
Don't they have any Szechuan?
Yeah, it's like I can't believe we're eating Cantonese.
Awesome.
Like who even knows the difference? Like I love New York Chinese food. That's it. I don't know if it's Cantonese or Szechuan. Just I'm going to 69 Bayard and I'm going to eat whatever you give me. I don't care.
Now I'm gonna look it up, the difference between all the styles.
Oh yeah.
All in Cantonese.
I might even have some chicken with mixed vegetables after this. I don't know.
Ah, come on, man. That's not fair. I'm in Virginia Beach. I can't get good Chinese food here.
Sorry.
It's all right. Enjoy.
Also, we have Winona Ryder in the scene defining an entire generation of young emo girls.
Yeah,
and
Right.
Goth.
and I would say even not having seen this movie until I was
I would say emo and goth.
oh god, I think I was 17 or 18 when I actually saw this movie for the first time. So
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Wow.
but even so, like my style was definitely influenced by Lydia. So
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But
It's
we gotta
interesting
say,
seeing her. It's interesting seeing her younger. I'm so used to seeing her from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm seeing her differently. I don't know if any of you watched Stranger Things. Or
No,
not.
I was
oh yeah.
I was reading my brain, man. You
I do,
took
but I
that-
would
you took
say,
it right out of my head.
I would say growing up, I primarily knew her for this,
Right.
Bram Stoker's Dracula and Alien Resurrection.
Mm.
See,
Yeah.
Edward Scissorhands was like the movie that we watched with my cool aunt. So that was the first thing I really remember her from.
I was so in love with her. That was it. That was it for me.
Oh, and Little Women, the 90s Little Women movie.
Also, Heathers, I think, which was the same year as Beetlejuice.
Yes, Heathers. That's
Yeah.
another one.
But
See,
unfortunately,
but
she also has a checkered past with illegal stuff.
Shoplifting,
Shoplifting and stuff. Mr. Deeds. That great movie.
Oh,
which I would think is
Chesterton Fieldville.
one of the last Adam Sandler movies I actually enjoyed.
When Chesterton
Oh,
Fieldville.
the diamond one was good that he did. The blood. Damn it! What was that movie?
Oh, Uncut Gems, but that was more of a. But that's not really a comedy. That's not like.
Yeah.
That's a
That's
great
not
movie.
really like Happy Madison style comedy. So.
Yeah. I think I prefer nowadays. I prefer Adam Sandler's dramatic stuff because he's.
I
so
agree.
good. He's so good at playing that type of role.
Dude, Spanglish didn't get the respect it deserved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it was decent. Yeah. Oh, Reign Over Me. That's a great one.
Oh wow, that's a great movie. Yeah.
I would say this is I feel like this is another moment in the movie where Catherine O'Hara was the unsung comedic hero of the movie. Was
Absolutely.
Yeah, she had some
Sure.
great lines.
Yep.
This is so freaky. She can.
I myself
Always
am
freak me out
strange
as-
and unusual. Yeah. Now I was like, when this came out, I was like, oh, she's cute. But then when Edward Scissorhands came out, I was in love. In love.
I would say Dracula did. I would say Dracula was what.
Oh yeah, no.
For her.
But how she goes from the black hair and the black everything to like this blonde.
On cheerleader,
Yeah, it was insane. And
She's
then
actually a
Mermaid.
and she's actually a natural blonde.
Right. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Oh my
Nice.
god.
Trivia there.
Yeah. But
I think-
Mermaids was another great one.
I think Mr. Deeds is where she looked the best for me. That's where I'm like, whoa, she's kind of a bombshell.
she was always a bombshell. She's a bombshell today.
Yes.
Did
That's
anybody play the Beetlejuice on Nintendo game back in the day?
So bad.
No,
Horrible.
I knew of
One of the worst
I
games.
but I never played it. There was also a Game Boy game too, but it was based on the cartoon.
Oh, really?
You have it on
Oh.
there?
That one.
This is my emulator, and it's on here, and it's terrible.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
Well,
LJN.
what did you expect? It's an LJN game.
Are you
Yeah.
at Caitlin? What character can you like choose the characters? Like
No, you're Beetlejuice, but it has nothing to do with the movie. It's just a horrible, frustrating game that makes no sense.
They built it on top of another game, and I can't remember what it is. But when I was
Oh,
playing it, I
really?
was like, "Oh, this is totally
Mhm.
something else," and I can't remember. Oh, here's his first shot.
and we see him.
First full shot.
Yeah,
I love this scene.
she want a dog.
Yeah.
I got demons flowing all through me.
And I read Michael Keaton actually used the character Chop Top from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 as
I could see
inspiration.
that. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, but this is a far much better movie.
So I have Beetlejuice's grave in front of my house every year for Halloween. Like my house is the Tim Burton house.
Yeah.
But when I say Tim Burton, it's not really. It's more just half Nightmare and half Beetlejuice. And Nightmare, not, he's produced it. Whatever. I'm not going to get into that.
Rowan produced it.
Yeah, and that's all his creative properties. So,
Yep.
But anyway, the whole front of the house is that I have like an inflatable grave that plays, iconic scenes from the movie, from Beetlejuice on it, and then right in front of my house, I bought fake grass that looked as close as I could get to the look of the model.
Yeah.
And I
So,
got
like,
like a piece of plywood. I put it over my rock garden, and it's like Beetlejuice's grave and a couple other graves and some gargoyles and stuff. And every year, I've only had it up for 3 years, but every year people are like, "You're a friggin' fan," and I'm like, "Yes, I am."
Have you taken pictures of this? Because I've never seen it.
Yeah, I got it on Instagram. I'll send you the link.
Awesome.
It looks pretty good. Last year, I finally added fog to it, and it's insane.
Is it like screen accurate? Is it the same size or kind of?
No. It's way smaller. The grave, his headstone's only this big, but it's pretty good for what it is.
That's cool, man.
I'm competing with 2 other houses on my block that are insane. So my house is like the house that the kids come to not be scared. If that makes sense, like it's just whimsical and fun.
Yeah.
I dress up as Oogie Boogie every year. My wife made me like an accurate burlap sack, whole Oogie Boogie costume.
Does your wife dress up as Sally?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I had the grave play set from Kenner when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Of the
There's
Beetlejuice.
boys.
This movie spawned a really weird animated series, which
Oh, it was great.
The cartoon was good, but
for a
looking
6-year-old
back,
it's a little strange.
I think the cartoon was good, but looking back, it bothers me that the Maitlands were completely omitted. Were completely omitted from it.
Yeah.
But we did have the deets, so that was like the only the connection to the actual movie, really. Of Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
But
I always feel like now that I've seen that show, what is it, the Fairly Odd Parents or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a complete ripoff of the deets from the Beetlejuice show. Complete ripoff, or at least Captain O'Hara's and the mom from the Fairly Odd. Oh, that's great.
Gonna have to check it out now.
I love when he doesn't get his physical comedy is fantastic. Like he doesn't get enough credit for that, I feel.
Yeah. I really do love the characterization of them. Like the idea of these big city people that just love the idea of living in the country. They don't actually want to live in the country. They just love the idea of it. They love the idea of, I can go bird watching. And it's like, you actually go bird watching. And it's like, oh, it's like chewing up a worm or something. Like, it's like, or I can't find my favorite Chinese out here. It's like, well, if you wanted access to that, you should have stayed in the city.
Yeah.
Right.
Well put.
And people want to live in the country. They want to move to the city, So that's it's interesting,
It's flipped, yeah.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
wife grew up on a farm, and her biggest dream was to move out of Michigan and either move to New York City or
Exactly.
Philadelphia.
Exactly.
And yeah, she married me and realized that every time we go home, she's like, "Can we get out of here? Like it's there's just too much going on. We need to get out of here." I was like, "Yeah, I told you."
Right.
Oh, she's great.
Ooh, the receptionist.
Yeah,
Great costume and makeup,
yeah,
which won an Academy Award, by the way.
yeah. I'm just exactly, and as well it should have.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting to go to finally go to a grown-up party with people my age, 40, early 40 somethings, and somebody walk in as Miss Buenos Aires or whatever she is. Oh, Miss
It's
Argentina.
Argentina. Yeah.
I've seen Halloween costumes as her, on Reddit and stuff.
Yeah, but I don't know.
In
who's,
person.
Blown my mind at a party and come in looking like her. It's not even hard.
Yeah, no, well, I'll tell you, I'm involved with this company, Barbecue Films. They do these immersive events, and they did a Beetlejuice wedding. This was
really?
This was a year or two before I joined them, and I'm kicking myself because they did Beetlejuice wedding. Everybody dressed up as characters from the movie. There's pictures of that as well. I could send you guys. It looked like quite a time. They also did an Enchantment Under the Sea dance from Back to the Future. Yep, I know. But they've done some fun stuff. Oh, this movie. I love this. I can't get over the score. It's just so perfect.
I feel like they had to have had the movie done and they just gave it to him. The entire thing was done and they were like, go nuts. Because there's way too many intricacies in some of the scenes, even his fade ins and his fade outs and his just the single really weird violin in the background. There's no way he didn't know exactly what was going on when he wrote this score. So,
well, I mean, that's how they typically score movies. They film the movie first, and then the composer comes in.
No, I know, but I'm saying there's no way. He got the finished product. That was it. Sometimes you'll bring them in and say, oh, kind of test first. I feel like Elfman's the kind of guy that he's fine. Just give him the finished film. He doesn't need to know anything about it before, and let him watch it once, and he's going to murder it every time. And he does.
He does. Well, pretty much all the time. We just reviewed The Woman in the Window on Netflix last week, and Elfman's score is barely in it. You can barely hear it or make it out, and it was just very disappointing. So.
But that might be his issue. That might be something else's fault.
But this time, between 1988 and 1992, I think he did his best work. Batman, Edward Scissorhands, Dick Tracy.
Yep.
He did a movie called Nightbreed, which was by Clive Barker.
Darkman.
Yeah,
Army of Darkness.
He did the theme, March of the Dead theme for that. That was 92. But I'd say Batman Returns is my favorite score of all time because he combines the Batman theme with this twinkly Christmas vibe, and it's just perfect.
I love that joke. That kind of it's good attention to detail where he says there's no mirrors on this side. I just thought that was cool that they threw that back in there because they couldn't see themselves in the mirror earlier. And he goes, how do I look? There's no mirrors on this side. It's it wouldn't make sense. You couldn't see yourself anyway. I thought it was funny that they threw that in.
Yeah. Didn't catch that.
Thanks. I'm doing a little flat.
Yeah. And Jared, that actor who played the flat clerk, was he the Kramer in the pilot in Seinfeld? The actor who plays supposed to be Kramer with the razor?
Tom Pepper?
Tom Pepper. Yeah. I think it looked like him a little bit.
No, I don't.
No? Okay. Am I reaching?
I don't think so.
All right.
Yeah.
No.
That'd be awesome.
It'd be a whole lot cooler if it was.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that guy. Wait, I think the guy who got So with the his name was the messenger, right? Or
Ours is on it.
Larry Hankin.
Larry what?
Hankin, Hankan. KIN.
Okay.
All
right, because I think that actor was Carmen Philby.
Yeah.
Oh well, worth a shot. I thought it was him.
Here is another example of the fantastic scoring, right? The slow build up, and when he says we're home, and it kind of comes not thundering in, but it comes in a little louder, and then just shoots right out because she's there.
And he kind of experiments with different instrumentation, different like tones, and like I think like even like synthesizers in a way. It's a really funky score.
Danny Elfman using a synthesizer? That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh wow! So I'm looking at the Patrice Martinez, the actress who played the receptionist. She passed away 3 years ago.
Oh wow! Did she slit her wrist, or is that no?
Oh, too soon! Too soon!
Forgive me, guys. No,
Well, she's not recently deceased, so.
He doesn't get a handbook.
Who's gonna say it? Who's gonna say it?
Oh,
Listen, either everything's funny or nothing's funny. It's all good. I'm sure she would have appreciated the joke.
I'm sure they made a reference at the funeral.
Right? Like, how could you not?
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
and Rachel, you could edit that part out if you.
No, she's an iconic. We do it out of love and respect. She's iconic. Everybody knows Miss Argentina, except that they called her Miss Buenos Aires.
I was going to mention that her character actually has one of my favorite songs in the Beetlejuice musical. She gets like a whole number with the rest of the people in the waiting room. It's really great.
Cool.
You're the only person I've heard that has said anything positive to me about that play.
Okay.
Oh.
The critics were wrong about that one. I will say it because I saw that show at least 3 times. So yeah, the critics were wrong about that one. It's a great show. I wish he was still running.
No, I know. I think the problem with it is, again, you're tying something to something so iconic from people's childhood.
Yeah.
I had this conversation with Randy a while back. We were talking about, I went and saw, what was it, A Bronx Tale? And I was just like, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. So to see it just like kind of just raked over the coals like that, turned into, bastardized the way it was.
It kind of seems like Broadway's just glutted with movie-based shows.
Well, I will say that Beetlejuice, I have seen a lot of adaptation ones. Beetlejuice probably does the most to like change the original story. Like it does a lot of rearranging. Like they don't even go to the like waiting room of the afterlife until like towards the end of the second half of the show. Like really? It's entirely swapped around. And the center of the story is like the Maitlands are still a big part of it and their whole storyline, but Lydia is the center of the show, and it's centering on the fact that she's just lost her mother, and her father is now like in a relationship with character that's played by Catherine O'Hara in the movie.
See, that's way different because now you're like a Wicked take. That's cool. Had I known that, I might have thought about it differently. Like, obviously, I've not seen it, but I think I would have thought about it a lot differently if it was marketed that way.
Yeah. And the thing is that once they move into the house and she discovers that the Maitlands are there, her first thought is, if they are ghosts and they're here, what about my mother? And that she's like, I want to, like, that's why she's trying desperately to get back to the city, because she's like, what if my mom is in our old house, our old apartment? And I
saw it as well. I didn't love it. I went in with very high expectations. I was expecting a staged version of the movie. I respect what they did. They kind of took it in a new direction. But I did not love it as much as I wanted to. But
I think this would have done really well with a different title. Wicked is called Wicked for a reason, right? Like you should have. I don't know. I think I would have went something more Lydia-centric. Had I known the play was more Lydia-centric, I would have went with anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. They also very much change up the character of the Catherine O'Hara character in it. She's basically been brought in as a life coach to Lydia because of the fact that she's having all this depression after her mother's death. And so there's this whole song about how Lydia's like, everything's shit. The world is chaos. Nothing happens for a reason. And her side of it is everything happens for a reason. I believe in the power of prayer. Buy more crystals. Like,
so Lydia's basically more a new age woo meister.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Took quite a turn. That took quite a turn.
And I think like during the first performance, they had Catherine O'Hara was in the audience, and she went up on stage.
Mhm.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
No, that's cool.
That's
That is
awesome.
she's pretty active with that stuff. Whenever Elfman would do a live score song performance of Nightmare Before Christmas, I think Catherine O'Hara would join in on the stage as well. Also, Paul
Yeah,
Rubin.
yeah, actually, there was. Yeah, the three. I saw a video of that. The three of them singing songs from the movie from Nightmare Before Christmas together.
They do that not last Halloween, but I think they're going to do it again in California for this Halloween. So I went to the one like 2-3 years ago, and I think it was at the Barclays Center, and it was really, really good. It was like amazing to just be that close to my idol.
It's so funny. It's so funny that you said that, because we were watching the Schitt's Creek episode. I turned my wife onto it because I love Canadian TV, and she didn't want to even give it a chance.
Oh.
And then she fell in love with it 10 times harder than I did. And when we got to that episode where she was like, I don't go to, cons and things like that. Like, that's not my thing. That's all I could think of was how active she is with things like that normally. Not cons specifically, but, going and supporting the people that she's worked with before. I was like, I wonder if like, that was, like a little wink that she threw in there, like, hey, I need to make a point of saying this. I don't know. Sometimes we just look into things a little deeper, but that's exactly what happened the first time I saw that episode. It was like, oh, like it was good stuff.
That's cool. Yeah, Catherine O'Hara would be a great interview, I think. I mean, all the stories, Second City, decades of experience.
You might have got her like 7 years ago. You ain't getting her now.
Yeah, she did I'm trying to remember, I think it was Vanity Fair or one of the big magazines. They did like a video interview with her and looked at all of her iconic looks over the years and talked about like some of her costuming from the movies in particular.
Mm-hmm.
And like it was kind of a mix of costumes and red carpet, but she is definitely kind of a fashion icon.
I would have loved to see her in the late 90s or early 2000s take on Lucille Ball.
Yeah,
I think she would have been excellent.
she would have been.
Yeah, I mean, in this movie, she does a little.
Yes.
You know exactly. What? Even maybe Cruella de Vil back in the 90s, she could have been a good replacement. Yeah. Glenn Close.
She would have been way better than Glenn Close, I think.
Actually, now I'm kind of wondering, with Cruella coming out, who were some of the candidates for Cruella in the 1996 movie?
Yeah, probably Catherine. I could definitely see her in the running.
Would not surprise me.
Yeah.
All I want is for Winona Ryder in an episode of Stranger Things to say something along the lines of strange and unusual. I just want her to find a way to work it in, because it's always the line from this movie that I remember. I myself am strange and unusual. Like, I would just, it's Stranger Things, it's Beetlejuice. Like, just say it. Just say it one time.
Like, has she referenced Beetlejuice at all later in her career? Because she's like, what, 16, 17 here, and that's 30 years later pretty much. And I'm just surprised, like, she has like an SNL thing or some kind of video, referencing her character. I think that would be, because it's so iconic.
Yeah.
So
maybe they'll get her to come back for the eventual, was it the Beetlejuice sequel that Keaton still wants to make?
Yeah, I think.
I don't know if he wants to make it. Like, I feel like it's one of those things that just floats around the internet every couple of years, like the Goonies sequel.
Yeah.
They were like close to making it, I think. Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian back in like the early 90s.
They offered Kevin Smith was offered to write it, and he turned it down.
Thank God.
I mean, at this point, we'll probably just get a reboot, a remake or something.
Was he just, I have to think Kevin Smith at that point was like, I've already made too many shitty movies at the behest of other people at this point. No, thank you.
I mean, by the time he was offered Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian, he only had Clerks and Mallrats under his belt.
Oh, well, that's not bad, but still, Mallrats is that first dive into doing something he didn't necessarily want to do. Not in the way that he wanted to do it, right? Like,
that was more of a bigger budget, right? That was Universal.
Yeah, that was more mainstream.
Right, mainstream.
But how good, I mean, just low key, how awesome is he to take all the character or to take all the actors, throw them in the same next movie and just knock it out the park with Chasing Amy? Like, no. I'm going to show you how all these people would work together in an amazing movie. And then just boom, just kill you with Chasing Amy. So good.
Okay, Mo. So right now,
Yeah.
you're about to witness cinema history. This is one of the greatest scenes of any
All right.
movie, in my opinion. The first interaction with Beetlejuice. So,
Full interaction with Beetlejuice.
thank you. Adam and Barbara meeting Beetlejuice. It would be weird though if they did a sequel now, because Keaton's like almost 70 years old. I don't know if he could. I mean, maybe he could pull it off with enough makeup. I mean, possible.
Yeah, I mean, he's
They
playing.
could change mediums, do something animated or like stop motion.
Maybe
Yeah.
the
that'd be good.
crew behind the Mitchells versus the Machines to do a nice little Beetlejuice epic.
Yes.
But hey, I mean, Keaton's returning to play Batman, so I don't see why he couldn't do. So I couldn't see why he couldn't be Beetlejuice again.
I don't know. I guess it's not so weird to see him as an old Bruce Wayne, but it might be weird to see an old Beetlejuice. I don't know. Or it could be hilarious and awesome. Who knows?
It could really go either way. There's no middle ground. That's how I felt about
Horribly
Beetlejuice.
right or
The
horribly
music-
wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly how I felt about Beetlejuice the musical. But I didn't hate it, but it just kind of fell flat. So Pete, you had the exact material, like that rubber grass. Did you have that type of?
No, I went to Home Depot and I looked through all their different, because they do that. They'll cut you a piece off. So, it's like regular, you go to the carpet section and I pulled out I was like, can you just show me all your fake grass?
Oh, here he comes.
So,
Show me the Beetlejuice grass. Where is that? Oh my God.
Beetlejuice.
I mean, this scene was. And you don't even see the wires.
And then 6 years later, they would be love interests in Speechless.
Wow.
I missed that one.
When Speechless?
That's not the one where Keaton has cancer in the movie, right?
No, it's the one where he and Davis are speechwriters for opposing political candidates.
Oh,
No,
I
saw that.
And up until Batman v Superman came out, that was the closest we ever got to seeing Batman and Superman together in a movie. Grieve.
Yeah.
I just want to know, like, what was he the tour guide of?
Well, there's a theory. They mentioned this person Bozeman earlier. I think it was the barber he mentions a name Bozeman, and that apparently they think is Beetlejuice before he died, was this character Bozeman, who I think was like some kind of businessman or something. It's like a weird theory.
But he says that he lived through the Black Plague, so
Yeah,
And
that's
had a really great time doing it. Yeah.
Oh, that makeup. Oscar well deserved.
How do they look at this and go, yeah, no, he was great as Beetlejuice. You know what else he'd be awesome as? Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. 1 year later, he's Batman.
And then he knocks it out of the park. Exactly. So weird. Who should we get to be Batman? Let's get Johnny Dangerously.
actually, Alec Baldwin was the candidate for that role.
Yeah, it's weird that he didn't get
I
it.
could think young Alec Baldwin.
Well, he did The Shadow a few years after.
Yeah,
Yeah.
way
But
better choice. Very better. Val Kilmer never would have had a shot at doing the third movie.
Oh,
Alec Baldwin would have done 7 of them, and he would have been fantastic in all of them.
I think he's
Unbelievable.
my least favorite Batman.
Unbelievable.
He's the Batman the time forgot.
Who? Val Kilmer? No, George Clooney is the worst.
No.
I mean,
okay.
here's the thing. Batman, like, here's the thing. Clooney is memorably bad, whereas Kilmer is pretty much is often regarded as just forgettable.
You know, Clooney was not a bad Bruce Wayne Batman. He was just in a terrible, terrible movie. So that kind of overshadowed his acting. But he was
actually, I do buy Clooney as Bruce Wayne. I did like his Bruce Wayne.
I didn't like anything about Kilmer though. I don't think he brought much to the role of Batman at all. But
No, but you know what? At least Kilmer tried to, when he was Batman, tried to sound a little different from Bruce Wayne, whereas George Clooney was like, "Oh, I'm the same exact person both times."
He's like, "I freeze. I'm Batman." You know, he's the same.
Hey, what's going on, bud?
That's a very good point. Keaton disguised the voice.
Here's my Batman Amex card. I never go anywhere without it. Like it was so bad.
Well, he
so
looked
bad.
the part. Like he had the jawline. He looked like a Batman. So. Oh, and so guys, I don't know. I think
you want to talk about iconic?
I was gonna say this is my favorite scene for the movie.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Kind of reminds me. I think some of you have been to the Beetle Bar in Manhattan, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Rachel, I think we met up there a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I've been there I think twice now with you, I want to say.
I went there once, and their Jack and Coke on the Rocks left something to be desired.
It's really the only thing that's going for it is the ambiance. The mixed drinks are okay. They got some good cocktails, but it's a very small space. It's very clamped. And you know, I was expecting a little more Burton stuff. They do play Elfman on the street.
Yeah,
that was cool. But I don't know if it's opened up again, but I think I recommend it highly to you guys if you haven't been there.
Yeah, you can also if you want to see Beetlejuice, he has been a part of the at Universal Studios, the horror makeup show.
Yep.
They've integrated him into the intro for it. He wasn't a part of it before the pandemic, but during the pandemic, when they reopened, they had him kind of be the warm up for the show.
Oh, cool.
I remember because I remember going to Universal Orlando as a kid, and they had Beetlejuice's Graveyard Review.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
R.I.P.
Where he plays
Beetlejuice Graveyard Review.
Is that where he's like the leader of a band? He's playing a guitar.
With the classic Universal monsters.
Right.
Yep.
Good times.
I got to see the one that was in the show walking the streets of Universal Studios, Florida, Orlando. I'm walking around and we're walking by the Jaws, the Jaws ride, and he just pops out like to scare us a little bit from behind one of those really old taxi cabs that they would have just kind of parked wherever. Because if you're by Jaws, you're not too far away from the old what is it? Yeah, Earthquake. Oh, dude.
Actually,
yeah. No, but the old the old like
the San Francisco.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Actually, Randy, have you ever seen the? I don't know if you ever went. When last time you were at Universal Orlando was, but okay, like how long? But
maybe like I think like 1999. I was 14.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, 98 for me. I remember finding I was on looking around YouTube for like old Universal looking up YouTube for old Universal attractions, and I came across I guess for a while they had a Beetlejuice Ghostbusters show.
Mm-hmm.
Like a
where Beetlejuice would possess Ghostbusters.
I think I heard about that too.
And make them. Yeah, it was pretty cringy, to be honest.
It sounds cringy.
I mean, the idea of crossing over Beetlejuice and the Ghostbusters, that's like for us, that's a fanboy dream come true. But the way Universal executed it, just bad.
I know, but yeah, very very cool idea, poor execution.
But that's why we have the Kenner action figures to do it the way we want. We would have wanted it.
That whole scene just now.
I'm just looking at
one part where
Mo, are you stunned by that weirdness?
this whole movie, I'm just trying to process what's going on. It's like, you think you've seen enough, but then you see the next scene, and it's like, that's cute.
Keep going.
Yeah.
The one part in there where he's where where they say the tarantula and he just like jumps
Yeah.
up. All I think about in my head for some reason is Howard the Duck at the end where he turns into like the big, creature or whatever, that big crab creature. That's all I think about every time.
I wanted to show you guys. I started collecting laser discs. I actually have Beetlejuice.
Wow.
Nice.
That's a good one. Yes.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's huge.
I'm surprised you're not
Awesome.
watching that right now, Jared.
It's just well, I would have to turn it. I'd have to
Oh,
flip
gotcha.
it.
Yep.
And some of the discs, they're slightly warped, I think, and it sounds like it's like a jet engine in the player.
Yeah.
It's so
whenever
freaking
we
loud.
Randy, whenever we get Ernie on, you have to ask him about his laser disc collection, because it is quite expansive.
Oh yeah,
It's insane. This is my uncle Ernie. He does Comic-Con every year. He's got like a
oh nice.
yeah, he does like posters, movie posters and things like that. He's got a store in Staten Island, and
Good stuff.
his laser disc, like he was on the Columbia house of whatever it was for laser discs. So he's just got way too many.
Yeah, they're cool. They're cool. I never had one growing up, but I started getting into it recently. And yeah, there's sealed ones on eBay for not much.
That's awesome. And the sound quality, picture quality, how is it? Is it okay?
It's like DVD quality.
I don't know. It's actually
Yeah, it's like DVD.
excellent.
I love it.
Yeah. So imagine back in the day. I don't know why we didn't like get into those.
I
Maybe
think
they're
it was
too
the
expensive.
flipping. I think it was the flipping.
Yeah, the flipping. Yeah,
Plus the cost.
the expense. Yeah,
Like Godfather, the first Godfather was 4 sides.
yeah.
It was 4.
I have one that is it's like 3 discs, and yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, VHSs are kind of coming back a little bit with the hipster crowd. So maybe laser disc.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if the VHS revival is going to be quite like the vinyl revival, because at least vinyl records have quality.
Right.
Yeah. VHS, you're not getting the quality.
Yeah.
Just in this.
Nope.
I guess.
Just that.
And
Okay.
VCRs are so.
Here's what I quote a lot. Open the door, you dead people.
Open the door. Yeah, she's so good.
What you hang yourselves with.
And she's very good looking woman, Catherine O'Hara, I must say.
Buckle over you. Like I said, moments like this are why I think she is the unsung hero of everything she does.
Even the line she has earlier in the movie, she's like, yeah, it's, because the door is locked and it's like, yeah, it's haunted by the ghosts of this house and they want us out. So let's get out of here. It's like perfect.
All the
She's got
actors
great
get their moments, their jokes, but it's really not enough. You want more. I think Keaton only had like about 14 and a half minutes worth of screen time.
Yeah, it was like 19. I think it was like 14, 19 minutes. I think.
Yeah, I think 14 or so. And all of these are great comedic actors.
Not even 20 minutes.
Yeah. And the movie's only an hour and
It's like Batman Returns. Hardly in that either.
I
Remember?
actually have an art print from this artist that I really enjoy. They did a almost like a collage of different scenes from Beetlejuice. I'm going to turn off my camera for just a second so you don't have to endure the walking camera thing, but so I can show it to you.
All right.
I've seen on Etsy people have recreated that handbook as like a journal.
No, they I think they
Actually, I think I may have.
they actually had a
I think
real handbook, and by it there's actually a table of contents and actual text in it.
Newberry Comics. Right?
Far as you know about this,
Didn't
real handbook.
I think I would say didn't I think Newberry Comics sells it, doesn't it? Don't they?
I forget who exactly, but
I
it's
was
a
just gonna show them the art.
but actually
Yeah, I feel like that's something I feel like that's something you would get in either Newberry Comics or Hot Topic.
somebody
Yeah.
somebody actually, I think it might have been maybe like a psychologist or someone involved with spiritual stuff. They actually took the time to write out an actual handbook, and it's pretty awesome. I don't own it yet.
That scene that just passed right there, like I wish at least somebody would have been holding like a tennis ball on a stick, because they're all looking in different directions.
Is that the
So that
same?
that's my art print with the sandworm.
Nice.
And
Oh, cool.
yeah, sorry, it's a little bit flipped. So
Did you get that at the
you
musical?
can. I didn't, but it's this artist. I believe they're actually on. I think they're on Etsy. I'll post the link to it in the show just in the description on YouTube.
Perfect.
No, Chip. No.
Come for your daughter, Chuck.
Oh, and originally the face of this snake did not look like Keaton at all. So later on, once Keaton was cast, they changed it to look more like him. Trivia.
No, Chip. No.
Yes, because when I look at that snake, all I think is Michael Keaton. Who came up with the paint scheme for the hallway? Like it looks like the floor of my garage.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great if everything looked like concrete? Yeah, let's do that.
But back to the action figure.
I love how he considers himself the consummate professional.
It's weird. Some of the action figures had elements of scenes from the movie, like this right here. There's a Beetlejuice figure where he has like spikes, like in swords in his body, little holes in his body with like these protruding.
Yeah, and also the merry-go-round head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The merry-go-round head with Jack's head on the top.
Yep, and then and then they also had like the group
Forrest,
an action figure of the.
No spoilers. No. Careful with the spoilers.
All right.
But there were a lot of nods to the film.
I didn't even think about that because we've all seen this 1,000 times. Poor Mo. Sorry, Mo. Mo's gonna watch it again as soon as we're done anyway. Like, you gotta watch it without listening to all of us nerd out while you watch it.
No, I love all the information I'm getting from the movie, from you guys. You know, it's really fascinating hearing all this trivia. You know, from all the actors and actresses to even just like small details about the movie. You know.
This right here, if the brothel, if that doesn't remind you of Big Adventure, I don't know what would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fun one I might want to do a commentary for.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Really fun.
I'm on board for Big Fish though.
Mm.
I think you got Rachel and I in the can on Big Fish for
all
sure.
All right. Cool. It's such a beautiful movie. I definitely cry every time the last scene where he's carrying his dad into the river. Oh my God. Gets me every time.
Without a doubt.
Beautiful. See, Burton doesn't do movies like that anymore. I don't know why. But maybe he'll have a return to form. He just needs a good script. Big Eyes was kind of close. I don't know if you guys saw that one, right?
That was the one with Amy Adams, right?
Amy Adams.
I'm just like looking down in the corner, and Jared, your dog, is just.
Hey,
He's
Chip.
a handful.
Is Chip enjoying the movie?
Say hi, Chip.
Hey,
Who
buddy.
is it?
You want to say hi too?
Oh no.
Oh, Chip, look.
By the way, this is my class. This is my class every Friday. We do a pet show and tell for the first 5 minutes. Like I have all my kids bring in their pets, and I'm like, we need to just get off of doing school for 5 minutes. So then they all have like their dogs.
Is he looking the camera?
He's starting to.
It's so
good.
I love them both. So cute.
Mhm. He had me up at 6 a.m. today.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I love how
Yeah.
Jeffrey Jones' character was dropped like 2 stories and all he has is a little band-aid on his forehead.
Yeah.
Classic.
These I feel like they tried to make a wicker chair, but then make it yuppie cool. Like it's so weird.
And they just have this weird wall for some reason. Which
No, well, I think they were trying to build an extension or something, or like, whatever.
Yeah.
But
oh, it's in
still,
the middle of construction. Okay.
yeah, like it's not done yet. This is a great part.
Yep.
I've plummeted.
This is something like out of Dark Shadows, the
Yep.
the Burton
Yeah.
it was god awful.
See, this is when Rachel was, oh yeah, it is bad. When Rachel was talking about the play, like this is the scene I thought of. Like this would have been if you gave background to her mom dying in this scene, it would have changed the
Yeah.
entire movie. But like that's cool that they did that in the.
Yeah. Pete, you're muted. Okay.
Oh no, I can mute myself to not.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes I need to mute myself. Like, shut up, Pete.
It's good that you have that self-control. It's good. Not that you need it, sir.
This is my life as a teacher. No, this is my life as a teacher. Like, come on, guys, I just explained that and then mute it so I can say something under my breath that I don't want to say out loud.
Oh, man.
More good Halloween costume ideas, some cosplay maybe.
It's a tough one though.
Super tough.
Oh, guys, also, I wanted to mention this earlier. So Juno, the caseworker, is played by Sylvia Sidney. Was like a big time, like, she was very active in like, I guess the 30s, 40s, old time
Golden age.
Oh,
golden age of
Who
Hollywood.
was it?
Sylvia Sidney, who plays Juno, the caseworker.
Oh, yeah.
She was like,
Juno, your caseworker.
Yeah, they actually expand her role as well in the stage show. Interestingly, they kind of throw in that she is actually Beetlejuice's mom, who just never believed in him. So it's pretty amazing.
That's funny.
And they actually managed to pull off the effect of like the smoke coming out of her neck and everything. So
my favorite thing that they did with the show, they brought back the shrunken head guy.
yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fun.
Dead skis. And they take that one short line, the ghost with the most, and then that becomes the whole thing for the cartoon. Like, that's the whole tagline. That's everything. I'm the ghost with the most.
That's how they marketed the movie. The end of the trailer, he says that line. So
yeah, but it always seemed like a throwaway to me. In the movie, it seems like a throwaway line, whereas it's like, oh wow, people really like that line. Let's make everything on this line now.
Mm-hmm.
could have been a good title for the movie, or maybe even the sequel if they ever get around to it.
Ooh, the ghost with
Yeah, right.
And not even call it Beetlejuice, just call it the ghost with the most.
There you go. There's the title. And then the tagline on the
Gold, Jerry, that's gold.
from the poster, I think the name and laughter in the hereafter. Not bad. Oh, this is a great scene. Yep. The Beetle drink, Beetle breakfast.
Yeah.
I love it.
Just say it. Little Sam Kinison drop in there.
I think also Kinison they wanted him for the role as well.
Get
But
out of here.
Beetlejuice? I see that.
amongst all the trivia, I think that was one of the entries was Kinison might have been.
Just to pay off that one line.
He was in the Rodney Dangerfield school one though.
Back to school.
Back to school, yeah.
Oh my, yeah.
Sure.
So such a weird person. But
Yeah.
My dad he took my mom to see him when she was pregnant with me.
here's the trivia. I found it. Producer John Peters thought of casting controversial comedian Sam Kinison as Beetlejuice, but Kinison's agent never told him about it.
Ooh.
Would have been an interesting take.
Yeah.
I love how the dude's still there cleaning the same hallway. Still cleaning the same hallway.
Eternity.
I mean, like I said, civil. If you commit suicide, people who commit suicide become civil servants.
Yeah, so that's their hell. What?
Had I known then what I know now, I wouldn't have had my little accidents.
Yeah.
Which that's literally the name of the song is What I Know Now.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Nice. Just say it. That would have been Kinison's line right there. That would have been the whole reason they got him. Just say it. Oh.
Good, Forrest.
That was a pretty good one. That was a pretty good one.
No, Chip, no.
Does he want another walk, Jared?
Yeah, he does.
Oh.
He's ridiculous with these walks.
He's not a big Beetlejuice fan. He's just
So,
Beetlejuice.
Wasn't there?
Beetlejuice.
Didn't Beetlejuice have a pet dog made of like a skeleton of like it's like a skeleton dog in the animated series?
on the cartoon. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. His car was like a dog. Doomy.
Doomy.
Doomy. That was the name of his car.
I think I'm also thinking of
And the
Night.
car comes with a dog.
Jackson
Yeah.
had a dog who was a skeleton.
No, Zero. Yeah.
Zero.
No, Zero wasn't a skeleton though. Zero was just a floating.
Oh, he was a ghost? Oh, okay.
Like a sheep ghost.
Gotcha.
Actually, I'm just browsing around Beetlejuice merchandise right now, and there, besides the action figures and the video games, there was a Beetlejuice Play-Doh set.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah,
I would have played for that for sure.
I had no idea it even existed, but it looks like it's okay. So it's got the movie logo, but it features cartoon Beetlejuice.
No.
You know, Jared, I still had that weird toy you mailed to me from eBay. It's the Spookometer from Kenner.
Oh yeah. Did you open that?
Yeah, I like looked at it and like I didn't really know what to make of it, and you know, it was just an odd choice for a toy company to make into a toy.
Was it Kenner?
Yeah. Kenner did they did the action figures, vehicles, play set, and the role playing toys too. So that was one of the role playing toys.
I cannot believe you opened it.
Yeah. You're supposed to leave those shut.
Well, I was glad I did because it had one of those little Kenner booklets that had all the action figures like coming summer of 1990.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you, for that, sir. Thank you.
No problem.
Jared is a big believer in nostalgia and collectibles, apparently, which is good.
Yeah, eBay has been it's been good to me. a lot of random crap on eBay.
Nice.
Catherine O'Hara's eyes are so expressive in everything she does. Like,
No.
she's just a really good physical comedian as well.
Yes.
I
think a lot of that.
I would have loved to have seen
Go
her like improv, like whenever in the 70s, 80s, or even now.
My God, Second City.
Yeah. I think they had the Second City TV show. I don't really remember.
Yeah.
No. But I'm saying when she was just Second City before they did the show, that must have been amazing. Like I can't even imagine seeing it completely unscripted.
Yeah.
She was probably awesome. Yeah.
Her, Martin.
I just wonder.
Gene Levy.
Yeah. I just wonder because she was always a really attractive woman. Like I wonder how seriously she was taken, and it's unfortunate you have to look at things through the lens of where we are now. But you like to think about that all the time. Like, was she taken seriously as a comedian? Was she just like, oh, she's a pretty girl, she's good, eye candy, we'll keep her around? Or did people really know her genius before doing the Christopher Guest movies and things like that? Like,
that's actually a really good thing you brought up. Attractive women as funny. I mean, I think Kaylee Coco from Big Bang Theory is like one of the more modern examples of that, because she's hilarious. She's great. She's good looking and really funny.
Another one who's very expressive with her eyes. Like, she's good at that as well.
And
I don't know if I share your affinity for her. I don't know if I think she's that great, but she is very expressive. I will give her that. She's good. Like that.
So I'm looking at Catherine O'Hara's Wikipedia page right now, and I'm reading that she was an understudy for Gilda Radner on Saturday Night Live.
Wow. Interesting.
That was when they had understudies and not features.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. A brilliant Elfman cue, if there ever was one. The Incantation.
See, this is where I was talking about her statuesqueness, her cheekbones and stuff, because it was really easy for them to do what they did to make her look more skeletal in the face. I think they were already working with really good bone structure, and they were like, oh, we can easily, do the transition with the makeup first to make it look like everything got sunk in a little, and then boom, just switch to the rubber, the latex makeup right after that, and it's a smooth transition.
Yeah. Creepy as hell, but
Yeah.
See, you kind of see it with everyone else. Like, when they're reacting to things, they look like they're reacting to something that's not there. And then when you see Catherine O'Hara do it, it's like she looks like she's genuinely reacting to something in front of her, which that's just what I see. It looks like everybody else is like, oh, look at that, but she's really killing it.
Yeah. Would love to see her in something more dramatic. I think she'd be great. Because I'm always saying that on
this just makes me so sad.
The scene,
Yeah.
it's horrible.
I want his jaw as a prop.
I'm sure someone has it somewhere, Jared.
That or a Robert Goulet suit.
Yes. Maybe it'll fit you.
I want the little Jack bobble from the top of his from the carousel. The Jack Skellington head. That's if I could take anything, that would be the thing I would take.
There's like these bat ears. There's like a bat wings on the side of it. Prelude to bat.
Oh yeah, there are bat wings. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. The classic striped suit. Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Beetlejuice we all know and love. That suit is, yes. Still need to do a cosplay on that.
Dare I say, iconic.
Indeed, sir.
And it's such a small little part of the film too. And that's the suit.
I know, and it's so iconic.
Yeah. It goes along with the ghost with the most. Like, it's not something that, and then for some reason it became everything.
Right.
This has also reminded me that Universal last year did a haunted house that was based on Beetlejuice. That was one of the only 2 houses that they opened up last year. And they're going to be bringing it back again this year for Halloween Horror Nights, which I am so excited about. Cannot wait.
Is that Orlando and Hollywood?
I know Orlando at least is doing it. I don't know about Hollywood. Okay.
Definitely got to go back to Orlando one of these years. Good time.
Yeah, I've heard that the one out on the West Coast is also really good too. Their Halloween Horror Nights. They do a bit more like mazes, and they have more space to do stuff, like more like larger scale stuff. But the houses down in Orlando are also really, really fun.
Does Orlando have the studio tour, or is that just a Hollywood thing?
That's just a Hollywood thing. Since they don't have a working studio down there anymore. They don't have the Nickelodeon studio or anything.
I was going to say that's the last time they did the tour was when I remember going on the Nickelodeon tour.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
Think they're trying to decide what to do with the space now that because Blue Man Group has been in there for a really long time, and now Blue Man Group's going to be moving out, so there's a lot of speculation about what's going to kind of take its place there.
Right.
Interesting.
Which some people were saying, they're like, well, you have the production of Beetlejuice, you have all these sets and everything, just move it down there, do an abbreviated version of the show.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's that quick scene here, you know, with him being the carousel with that's another, you know, I get heavy big adventure vibes.
Come here.
I love how they're all so terrified of this person, this creature in their living room, Beetlejuice. They're just like standing around and
Nothing else really freaked them out until this dude comes along, right? Like, you remember you had a snake in there, right? Like, yeah. It's a great, put him in polyester and a leisure suit. Fantastic. That's got to be a Mr. Furley, or not Mr. Furley. Yeah, Mr. Furley suit right there from Three's Company. Gotta be a Mr.
Three's
Furley
Company.
suit.
Awesome.
Although I'd say Mr. Roper probably wore some leisure suits too, just probably not as much. See, this is the suit I'd rather have. The velvet,
cosplay?
you know,
I think that event I mentioned, the Beetlejuice wedding, I think they wore the red suits, the red suit and dress.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
God, I hope so.
Yeah, and this show kind of sends up this whole sequence. There's a number called "The Creepy Old Guy," where it's basically Lydia singing to Beetlejuice about the fact that, yeah, I'm a teenager and about to marry this really old creepy dude.
Right. Yeah. I like how he's worried about her being jealous of the girl whose finger the ring comes off of. Like, that's just a good nod. Like, she doesn't care. There's so many other things that are going on right now, but that's what she meant nothing to me. Right. Yeah, no, that was the issue with this whole wedding. That was the issue.
The special effects in this scene, the practical effects are so good.
And I love the fact that she got trapped in that earlier and now she's trapped in it again. Like, that's, you know, that's
Okay, so the preacher, that's Tony Cox
Yeah.
in the costume.
Who's Tony Cox again?
He's Bad Santa, right?
Bad Santa, he was the elf.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's all but he's got a lot of roles.
Yeah,
He's been in
yeah.
a trillion things.
Who's
Yeah.
in Willow?
He was in Willow. Yep, he's in Willow.
I might have to walk the dog again.
Oh no. We'll probably still be here.
All right. If not,
See you
I'll be
around.
back.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You got some time.
Yes, I love that man of mine.
Sure. Oh.
It's so creepy. You ask me, I'm telling you.
He's great. Such a great physical comic actor.
Yep.
There would have been another Kinnison moment right there.
Yep.
Scram.
Beetlejuice. Like, I get so mad when I watched it as a kid. Like, just say it 3 times fast.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they just recovered from crumbling apart. So
All right, fine. She's
there.
at fine. I don't understand the decay on his face, like the little green pieces that come out on his face.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't get what, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, why is it green? Make it like brown. I don't know. There's things like that. I was just like, why would he be green? Is that supposed to be like old slimy ooze, or like, what is it supposed to be?
It's decomposing the skin, I think.
Right? But does it look green? I mean, I don't know. I've never watched a body decompose, but does it look
Me
green?
neither. I guess they're just assuming.
Yes.
It's such a comeuppance moment.
Yeah.
And I like how she safely hops off of it as it,
Mhm.
Yeah.
as it
Really
whirls him into the ground.
safely and really conveniently. Oh, Tony Cox.
And that's it. That's a wrap for Tony Cox, everyone. All right. And whoever the voice actor was.
Do you?
The voice actor for the preacher was Jack Angel,
I was going to say Vince.
Ah, yes.
who also did the voice of the shark in Toy Story.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
I'm Woody. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
So it was funny because Rachel, you were talking about before how the house looks like it just had things added on and stuff, and like it's been bigger and bigger. Like I like how they've just like, yeah, we'll take this floor and you'll take that floor because this house is massive. Why not? But yeah, I just keep thinking back to like those old grandfathered rules in where it's like if you had a foundation, you could continue to build up, but you couldn't build out. So maybe that's why they just building the house up. Who knows?
That might be, yeah. I was also thinking about, like, again, every time I watch this movie, I become more and more certain that Catherine O'Hara and Jeffrey Jones's character, they don't really care that much about being parents. And it's clear that, like, it's just kind of like the best of both worlds for everyone. That, like, the best situation, that they get to be the doting parents they've always wanted to be and weren't able to be because they kind of hint that they had trouble conceiving. Right. And Catherine O'Hara and Jeffrey Jones get to just pursue their whatever they want to do.
And it's a weird living situation they have going right now, to say the least. So 2 ghosts. Actually, the whole house is haunted.
Oh yeah, because they bring the football team in.
Yeah, God knows who else they brought.
Yeah,
that's why the possibilities of a sequel, the opportunities are limitless. You know what I mean? So I don't know why it's taking them over 30 years. I mean, the musical is pretty much the closest we're going to get for right now.
And the cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You could do, you know how they're doing the Wednesday Addams show for Netflix?
Yeah.
You could do the Lydia show, but have it be called Strange and Unusual.
Oh, I love you, Rachel.
Netflix, hire me.
You're making my dreams come true. You're making my dreams come true.
But did Tim Burton, is he directing or is he just producing that Wednesday?
I'm not sure. I know that he's producing. I'm not sure if he's also directing.
I'll definitely stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
And again, is it animated or live action?
No, it's live action.
Interesting. Okay.
And I think they announced the casting for Wednesday just recently.
I would have thought Barry Sonnenfeld.
Yes. Jenna Ortega is going to be playing Wednesday in that.
Yep.
That name sounds familiar.
She's a former Disney star.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I was going to say, isn't she?
Yes, Tim Burton is directing all 8 episodes of the show.
I would have thought Barry Sonnenfeld would have been involved, but he's kind of like a Tim Burton type of director. He kind of
remember. I gotta say real quick. Remember that toy where you would push it and the big head would pop off and it'd be the little head?
Yep, I had that.
One of the toys, yeah.
It's a good one. That was the whole line was fun. They even had an Otho. Yeah. And there you have it, guys. Beetlejuice, 1988 classic, Tim Burton. Mo. fresh off the screening. I got to hear your thoughts. I really do. First impressions. He's just smiling.
I don't know what to say. I don't know where to start. Like
it's a lot.
I'm so glad I watched this movie. I'm so glad. But it's like scene after scene. There's something going on. There's so much going in the background. Like the director did a lot, you know, in terms of like paying attention to details, you know. There's just so much going on. Like even the last scene, you know, the football players dancing in the back, you know, like you don't get that. You don't get that in movies that are happening, you know, these days. And you know, I'm glad. I hope, you know, I get to, this becomes a pattern in terms of like I watch more classic movies more, because you know, usually when you watch classic movies first, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's from that movie. You know, like a lot of people, a lot of directors, a lot of actors, they like to do a lot of references of classic movies. But I'm doing the reverse. You know, I'm like, oh, okay, so that reference is from here, or like, you know. So I think I'm gonna get that a lot more if I continue watching, you know, classic movies. But
Nice.
thank you so much, man, for introducing me to this movie. You know.
Are you gonna see more Tim Burton films now?
Oh, definitely. And you know, like one thing that was kept on crossing my mind was like, you know, what if in The Mask it wasn't Jim Carrey and it was Michael Keaton, you know? Like it would have been interesting, you know, because I just, you know, he's giving me a lot of, like, I think it'd be a different kind of take, you know, with that movie. You know, I don't know if you guys, I'm pretty sure you guys watched The Mask, you know.
You dropped my favorite Jim Carrey movie of all times, man. You just dropped it in here casually.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh yeah, I love that movie. So, you know, it would have been interesting to see, you know, what if Michael Keaton was The Mask instead of Jim Carrey, you know? Would have been interesting, you know.
I could have seen that. I could have seen Keaton as the Mask.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, it was. I had a great time, you know, great time watching this. But you know, I even know what else to say. There's so many thoughts in my mind right now.
No, you said it all. Like
it really is. You know,
this movie is a fun time. This is a party, really. You know, you could tell everyone in the cast is having a good time. Just the look of the movie alone, it's just a beautiful film. It's got great music, both score and Harry Belafonte's songs. The only thing that's wrong with it is too short, I think.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I'm sorry if I was quiet, you know, during the movie. I was just trying to understand, you know, like, you know, what was going on in each scene. Like, you know, as soon as I began to pay more attention to the conversation that was going on, I'm like, oh shit, what's going on now? You know, like it's like, you know, it was all over the place, you know.
I mean, forgive me. I know it's probably not the best way to first see a movie, but
oh no, it's all good. It's all
because
good, man.
a couple weeks ago, Rachel, it was her first time seeing this movie, Joe versus the Volcano from 1992. Oh, you too? Wow. Yeah, and we had a great time, and I thought it was really cool. Just you know, no spoilers, but I just like, you know, hearing a fresh reaction.
100%.
Especially a movie like this, which is really a classic for me and for all of us, I think.
Right. Yeah, no, that's great. It's an amazing movie.
Mo, as soon as you get off, man, just watch it again. As soon as we're done.
I have to. I feel like this is like one of the movies that, like, you know, there's some movies that each time you watch, you pick up something new, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm definitely gonna pick up something like, oh, like, you know, this is interesting. I didn't catch it the last time I watched it, you know? And it's just one of those movies, you know? So.
You'll end up finding some really cool stuff that even none of us mentioned today, I'm sure. So
yeah, I can imagine, and I'm sure, like you folks were mentioning how there's like a subculture with, you know, with Universal Studios having like an amusement park, with you know, the bar in Manhattan, and I'm sure there's so much more trivia that I don't know about that I would love to know about, you know. It's like I'm mind blown right now, honestly.
We're here to educate you, sir. We're here for you.
Yes, sir.
And real quick, before we go, I just want to go around to the people who have seen this movie thousands of times.
Yeah.
Forrest, what was it like for you watching it today?
What was it like watching? Oh God. I mean, I rarely ever watch it. It's, you know, it's very rare for me to watch it in a group with an audience or with a group. So.
Right.
But you know, it's a movie that I can quote over and over again. Very well, you know, it's again, childhood favorite. But like, you know, watching with all you guys, it's you know, bringing all these different perspectives into it. Definitely adds to the experience.
Definitely.
Of course. Well put. Well put. Rachel, how was it like for you rewatching?
Oh, this was so much fun. And I personally love watching this movie with lots of people because it is the perfect sort of crowd pleasing movie. That was actually the environment that I saw it for the first time. I saw it at one of my first jobs was working at a movie theater. They did midnight screenings and it was all old movies, and they did a weekend that they were showing Beetlejuice, and I said, well, I've never seen this movie before. I'm going to see it for the first time. I'm going to see it on the big screen with a crowd. And it was, I mean, that's the perfect way to do it. And of course I would recommend, you know, if you want to check out stuff with the stage musical too, because it is, I really enjoy it. Their Tony's performance is very fun, even sneaks in a couple digs at Kylo Ren, who happens to be in the audience, Adam Driver. They specifically rewrote some of the lyrics for the fact that it was at the Tony Awards, so it's definitely very amusing. So,
And Broadway's opening up in September, I want to say.
yes, Beetlejuice is not reopening though, because they were unfortunately forced out by producer Scott Rudin coming in with his production of Music Man. So they are going to be taking over the Winter Garden Theater. So,
Although with everything that's going on with Scott Rudin, I don't know if that's still
well, he has officially removed himself from the project, but him forcing out Beetlejuice, that was one of the last big things he did with the show.
Oh man.
Because he specifically wanted the Winter Garden Theater and didn't want any other theater. So,
and that was such a great show. It was a really hot show too. I remember that was the last Broadway show I saw right before the pandemic. And they're not going to revisit that.
Their ticket sales were really picking up.
Yeah, that could have been like
they're still hoping that they're going to maybe, yeah, they're hoping to take it on tour, I believe. I think that's still the plan at this point, but I think it might be difficult to tour it because of the stage set and how massive it is and how complex it is. So
right. I think they'll find a creative way to bring it back, I hope. And it's funny you mentioned a show on tour. There was a show a number of years ago, back in I think 2006. They did Evil Dead the musical. And I think it's still touring. I think it's in Canada now, if I'm not mistaken. And it was, I went once. It was a great show. They, the people in the first row, they had this like ponchos and like they called it a splatter guard or something, or splatter zone. And actually, Bruce Campbell was there in attendance, and I got a picture of him on it's a really crappy cell phone picture, but you can see it. And it was a great show, and I hope they bring that back. I don't know where it is right now, but I hope they bring that back, Evil Dead and Beetlejuice, because these are just really fun, very macabre stories, and they're pretty good for the whole family, I'd say. Definitely Beetlejuice. It's a decent family comedy, and I'm really grateful that I got to share this screening with you guys tonight. This was a lot of fun.
You stole my idea, man. That's all I was thinking, was move this thing to Canada. I mean, you know, just on the heels of like Schitt's Creek, and get O'Hara to go out and like kind of be the master of ceremonies to open it in Toronto.
Nice.
Like that would be it. Like they would murder it at that point. I also wanted to say that Rachel has flipped me. I'm a believer. If it does come back around, mark my words, I will go see it now that I have this understanding of it, because I really didn't have this understanding. But I'm just going to go ahead and jump the gun and say this was awesome getting to see it with a bunch of people. I have never, unlike some of you guys, I've never been able to do it in this capacity. I've turned my wife onto it. Like, she wasn't a big fan. And then turning the front of the house into Burton land for the last, I don't know, 9 Halloweens, like she's kind of gotten on board, and now she loves Beetlejuice. So, but this was just fun to hear your guys' takes, because you always have like really cool deep cuts and things like that. And then being able to have Mo here, somebody who's never seen it before, and get this, you know, this is a big piece of Americana from me, at least for me. You know, I feel like this is my childhood. It's like this and Ghostbusters and Pee-wee, like those are my childhood things, because I was always into, you know, anything that was supernatural, so, or anything that was just kind of weird and fringy. So Yeah, so I'm glad that was the biggest part. Like, one, obviously being able to hear Randy and Forrest and Rachel and Jared kind of talk about their takes, but Mo being able to watch you kind of enjoy it and now like this will become a thing that you want to do. That's awesome, man.
Thank you. Yeah, no, definitely. It's not your common movie. Definitely, that's definitely something I could say.
And
it's like I'm sorry, Randy.
No.
But I was just gonna say, you don't see this type of kind of risk taken in movies that come out. It's very like these days. It's very kind of like very straightforward. Like another movie that's just popping out of my head is Pulp Fiction, for example, as well. It's very the directors really took a big risk. Different risks. Like they weren't afraid to kind of bring their creativity out in the out in the light, out in the world. And I feel like these days it's more about marketing and it's more about financing more than kind of creativity.
Yeah.
A movie like this is just like, this is the epitome of creativity, I'd say.
Yeah.
This is
100%.
basically art on camera. It's an art film in a way. And a lot of people, I guess, didn't like it in the beginning. It's definitely gotten a cult following. We're talking about it 33 years later after it was released. And it's just a really fun movie, and it'll never get old. It'll live on. If they do a sequel, if they do a remake or a reboot, it has to be done right. If not, it could be an insult and like a slap in the face to everyone involved with the original. So
it's hard to top this, if they do a reboot or something,
That's why it's taken them so long. They're like, they don't want to mess with a classic. So I understand.
Right. Exactly.
All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you all. This was amazing. I want to thank Jared Albert, who had to leave early to walk his dog Chip. And I hope to see some of you, all of you, in the future for more commentaries, more episodes of Under the Radar. And this has been Movie Commentaries, Under the Radar Presents. I'm your host, Randy Unger, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much.